Hello, anyone that's watching. That's going to get annoying, isn't it? I hope you've had a good week. I hope you can hear as well. At least you can see. That's a win on last time. Because the old Logitech webcam is just it works through third-party software, and then I can only get a small picture in the top corner, and then you can't save the stream. And through Safari, or not Safari, through Chrome and YouTube itself, it works for about a second, and then it says you've got no camera. So I've got a slightly different setup, which I can't show you, and it's going to be a lot more inflexible. So probably a lot more of me just standing here, but it is up and it's working. I hope, and no one's watching, so that's good. But somebody might watch it on repeat, so you just want someone talking general nonsense in the background. So I'll provide that service. It's warm in this jacket. It is 22 degrees in here. Out there in the insulated workshop. It is about 13 degrees, so that means outside it is blooming cold here in southern bumfudge nowhere. So hopefully you've had a good week. I've been report writing this weekend, which is fun as a school teacher. That's not a lot of fun. Well, it's part of the job. You can't complain about it because people go, no, school teachers complaining about having to write reports. I would honestly, if I could, I would take a $5,000 a year pay cut to get 2 days off every time I had to write reports. Just so I didn't have to try and squeeze it in on weekends and evenings and stuff, to just have 2 days, which that's, for someone who's in South Australia, a step 10 teacher, that's about a month's pay. So I would happily give up a month's pay for 10 days, well, 8 days in the year, specifically to write reports. That's how much I would like to do. It's a struggle for me because I'm not a very well organized person. I really try, and I put plans into place, and I set reminders on my phone, and I start drafting comments in the holidays, and I think about what we've done, and I keep lists of, these are the topics to write about and talk about. But it always ends up being 2 weeks before, just weekends of usually it's a Friday. Normally I do a Friday night, and I go all the way through Friday night, I do an all night. It's a Saturday, and then I'll sleep for a little bit Saturday evening, and I'll get up at say 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock Sunday morning, and go through Sunday, and then go to bed Sunday night, usually with them done. But it's it messes with your sleep patterns and whatnot. So I tried to do it, but I haven't found a better solution yet. Maybe you've got one. Put it in the comments if you do. What's happened? You know what? This week I've been really upset because I'm writing reports. I'm really upset. I haven't been able to use this because I really like this. I like this so much. I wish I had a job where I could use this every day. I really do. This is my favorite tool. Okay, it's small. I'm pressing the trigger. There's no battery in it. And I wish I could be in where there's a Bunnings right now, because they've got return 18-volt batteries and get $50 off new ones. And some new 18-volt batteries would be good, especially for my jacket, my nice heated jacket. Heated gear. So it's nice and toasty in here. And this is good for my Friday morning yard duty because it is astonishingly cold on Friday mornings. The noise behind me, or beside me, there's a 3D printer there, and there's a 3D printer there. Look, this one's making cubes because we're doing some work on volume next week. So this one is going to be 3D printing cubes. This one is 3D printing Makita battery holders for the tech studies department. And when that's not happening, I have headphone hooks, coffee stencils, bookmarks, and make coins to print because they're the things that my students made. Because I have this stupid idea. I am so stupid. I keep thinking, people that are busy making things will enjoy their learning. And so in design and technologies, we're just making stuff every lesson. We're in CAD every lesson, designing things. And the turnaround time for things when you're writing reports as well, these guys are basically going at 24/7 or 24 hours a day over the weekends. And we just had a long weekend. So in fact, we had a 4-day weekend. Well, I didn't have a 4-day weekend. Friday was a staff day, and then there was a long weekend. So for the 4 days anyway, these two ran non-stop. They are absolute trooper machines. So there's a Creality Ender 3, which it's only new this year, and there's in here is the big the big old lug now. It's a Creality CR10. So that does just over a cubic foot. So 300, 300, and 400. And the Ender 3 does 220, 220, and 250. So it's still a big area. You could easily print, helmets and things. And so right now, it's just they're doing utilitarian. They basically work for the school at the moment. But that's all right. That's okay. And what filament we on? We've got PLA in here, and there's red PETG. Dad, is your cup holders. Red PETG in there because they are going in like a tradies trailer, so it could be out in 40-degree heat, and PLA wouldn't survive it, I don't think. So they're going to be out in PETG. Now the other thing I've done, I don't know whether I'll be able to see it, whether you'll be able to see it. I was wanting to experiment with doing lithophanes, where you basically turn a photograph into like a relief 3D image, and when it prints out, it just looks like a bumpy sheet of plastic. You think, what the hell's that? But when you shine a light through it, you can actually see that there is a picture. So, without going all nose vision here, this is a lithophane. You can see the light behind it. Yay! That's Jessie J. Google who she is, kids. And so I took that picture, and then I thought, I wonder if I could make a bigger version. So if you've seen Big Clive, bigclive.com, brilliant. He's got a supercomputer kit. Now, I haven't got mine plugged in, but I will, because supercomputers also provide protection from horrible diseases like monkeypox. So I better turn mine on. But the supercomputer is an array of LEDs that flash. So if I'll have to spin this around without bumping into a printer. So there it is. There's the supercomputer. And if I plug in here, possibly, there it is. It's flashing away. Move the rubbish webcam out the way. And there you go. There is the lit from behind lithophane done in large. We're just needing a high contrast image. There was no other reason for picking Jessie J. I needed a high contrast image to be able to print dark areas really precisely, and then just the highlights around the face were actually ideal for this. And there wasn't a lot of stuff in the background needing to print, so that was the reason why. And I thought, well, I could always joke that I don't care about the price tag as well. So what should I do now? The supercomputer's going. I've been toying with making more of these. So this is meant to be a drill holder. There's a drill. And I've thought about putting these on the wall in here. I need to put something over the exposed framing pine. But that's meant to go in there like that. But I'm concerned about resting on that button, because that's not. It's just a little switch. It's like a potentiometer type switch. So really, that's actuating that switch, and I wonder whether that would have an effect on its lifespan, its life expectancy. So then I thought maybe I should print some battery type hangers and click these in and hang them upside down, a la vampire bats. But I don't know. Or do I make one of those drill charging things and just sort of hang it like that? Might be the best option. I don't know. I'm not sure, but I want to hang them up in here, or I could just dump them in a toolbox. It's not like I'm short on them. There's plenty of tool storage space. I don't know. And that was the other thing. I didn't show all the projects that were going last week, because last week I streamed hours of black screen and just me talking and killing a spider. So what have I got this week? Well, what I've got, Scale Banana says hello. I have got this. Now, I've already made one of these this year. Thank you, COVID. I produced there is a kit for a 3D printed TARDIS. So this is actually, you can see the other one. You can see the other one over my left shoulder, up there. See it? I'm getting closer to it. I'm there. There. So that's the size it would normally print. Now, I should give you. It might be the same size as this. You don't know, because there's perspective involved, isn't there? So hold on. I'll get up and I'll go over. Try not to trip over anything. So you can see there is a marked difference in the size. This is a 200% scale version, and I've actually done one of these up earlier this year for a work colleague who wanted a present for her partner, who's a nerd. So happy birthday. I hope you enjoyed it. So I've got a plan to do another one, because the wireless show is going to happen this year, the Bumfudge Nowhere Spectacular. And I thought that might be a good raffle prize to give away on our stand, where we'll probably have Daleks and robots and nerdy things happening, and we usually try and give away some merchandise of some description. So that's really the whole point of being here. So I thought I'd give that away. And I've got coffee up there as well. I was going to turn on the Makita coffee machine, but I've just had a coffee inside because I'm living on caffeine from writing reports. That's what happens. So yeah, the whole YouTube sensation thing isn't working. 12 minutes in, still not famous. Bit ashamed by that. So what should I do? I should probably just tidy up. I don't have anything else to say at the moment. I'll just tidy up with try and find a home for the Scale Banana. So this is all going live on my laptop now, which is a bit of a nuisance, because then it's Ethernet cables. I've only got one Ethernet port in here, so I have to unplug the other computer and plug this in. And of course, this needs a dongle adapter thing, because you can't have Wi-Fi in here because the shed's a giant Faraday cage. And I don't even know if you can hear me over the noise of Bingo and Bongo. You should call them that. But there we go. Oh, there, the new edition. When writing school reports this year, because I'm at a high school, some actual number crunching is needed. Some number crunching is needed in terms of there's a scale, and you need to average things out and whatnot. And I didn't have a calculator. I haven't owned a calculator for years, and it would be really time consuming to do it analog. And people say to me, well, why don't you use your phone? The problem with the phone being a touch screen, if you miss something, which happens when you get tired and fatigued, it's a bit of a pain, and it's lots of fumbling around, which is the same kind of fumbling around I suppose you do on a calculator, but there's tactile feedback, and you have buttons, and you can't sort of accidentally mash the wrong button to get certain functions. And nose shot, sorry. And so I have to teach high school maths now, so I needed a scientific calculator. So that's what I got. In the words of Big Clive, this is the kink calculator, and I shall write that on it. At least I know no one's going to steal it. And look, if they are going to steal it, they're going to be very brave, aren't they? At least I'm going to know which calculator's mine in the room, so I don't mind that. If you can't have a sense of humour, what can you have? And I upset people this week. I upset people because I may have said, if you've got a mullet haircut, you've obviously got a sense of humour. Now, you can take that two ways, and one of them is overwhelmingly positive, and you can guess which way the person took it. And as if I can comment on anyone's fashion choices, I've got this haircut because it hides some of the greys, the wisdom highlights. All right, tidying up. More boxes. How many rolls of filament have I gone through this year? I'm glad you asked. Since doing 3D printing with my class, this is how many rolls of 3D filament I've gone through. Ready? This many. And now if you consider that each of these is $25 to $30 each. So 30, 60. That's not bad. 90. Okay. Bear in mind, I've only been 3D printing with my class for 5 weeks. 120. 150. There is still some left on that. It is so bad. It is terrible PLA. I cannot recommend anyone buy it. It was the cheapest stuff from Amazon. 150. 180. $210 of PLA. Yay! Now, I will say, normally, before this year, before I got the Ender 3, if I was buying PLA, and I had kind of got out of buying PLA because I'd switched over to an all-metal hot end, and I'd gone to PETG, which for people that don't know is 3D printing jargon. PETG is what soft drink bottles are made of, and it's recyclable. PLA is organically sourced. It's like vegetable starch or sugar starch or something, and it's those biocompostable plastic cups that are sort of greenwashed. Hey, we're compostable. That's PLA. When I was buying PLA, I was buying eSun PLA. Not a sponsor, but hey, if you want to sell me some or send me some for free, I'd love it. This stuff was pretty good, and the place, in fact, it's excellent filament. Don't have a moment's trouble with it, never have. The issue that I had was with the postage. It was coming from Melbourne, and it would, sometimes it would take a week, sometimes it would take 3 weeks. It just, and I know with COVID and lockdowns and Australia Post, being stuck and not being able to send parcels and whatnot, there were all sorts of issues. I have to say, I haven't found that with this stuff. And I've gone through quite a lot of it now. This is a Tekor, and it's from InkStation, which is an Australian, printer cartridge printer thing, and they sell 3D printers where I got the Ender 3 from, and they sell filament. And InkStation filament, generally, if you order it at the right time, if you order it before Wednesday, it's generally there by Friday. And I can't say the same for the eSun stuff. No matter where I order it from, it just doesn't come. It's sort of the same. That you can buy eSun through Amazon. You can buy it from. I think I bought mine through Cubic Technology, which is in Melbourne, and they're excellent. I don't have no dramas with it. But I'm now in a place where I just have to keep printing. I can't afford the downtime of running out of filament. So I'm running low because apart from a couple of rolls of specialty stuff, like I have a clear PETG and I have a roll of stuff called ASA. So apart from those specialty, this is it. This is the last box of filament that I have. So I'm waiting for pay week to buy more. And people at work have been really good, saying, "Hey, take a roll from work." But at work we print with ABS, and neither of these machines are kitted out to print ABS at the moment. It's too cold in here to print ABS on that one, and this has only got sort of 12 volt. Turned into a 3D printing lecture. It's only got 12 volt hot end and 12 volt heated bed. It takes a long time to get up to temperature. And the amount of energy required to do that, because it needs 100 degrees bed temperature and 260 thereabouts temperature on the hot end, just means it takes a hell of a lot of energy to do that. Plus, it's got a a dodgy part cooling fan at the moment. I'm ready to replace it as soon as these printers can actually take a breath and not be working, but that's not happening right now. So that's why that's the other reason this one is printing PETG, because you don't need part cooling as much. So it's only running at 40%, whereas this one is just chugging away, chucking out the prints as it can. So I'm waiting to order more filament this week. I'm going to get a battery for my drill. I want a battery, so I will get one. So what happened? Well, I don't know whether I talked about this in the last stream. So I've got these, I've got these 12-volt tools. I'll be in and out now, and the temperature, I'm just watching it go up and down. It's 22.4 though, which is good. So the DeWalt stuff, I've always had 18-volt gear, and I asked given for Father's Day a couple of years ago a 12-volt hammer drill, because I do a lot of stuff with pocket holes and woodwork stuff, and I always found that an 18-volt drill was usually too big physically to get into small spaces, because obviously you might not know, when you drill pocket holes, a pocket hole is a hole at an angle through a board that goes into the middle of another board, and you actually need quite a long screwdriver bit to put the screw in, because it obviously has to reach into the pocket hole and then drive the length of the screw. So it needs to be quite long, which when you combine that with a large drill, often you can't get into areas where you need to get to, especially even if it's in not so much of a width thing, but the thickness of the drill as well. When it has to sort of lay down at an angle, can mean that it doesn't get. So a compact drill is ideal. So I was bought this. Right, I'll bring them all in. So I was bought this little tacker, and this was fantastic until the chuck broke. The chuck jammed open, and jamming open is worse than it jamming closed, because jamming open, you can't tighten it to undo it. So it got jammed open, so I had to send it away to get fixed. And then my whole video about the warranty with DeWalt and chucks only last 3 months. So they've put on a new chuck. I paid for that because I'd already accepted it. So now I have that working. Meanwhile, before I thought, hey, I should claim that thing, because you can look, it's not done a lot. It's really, here's the broken chuck. There is nothing, there are no segments eaten away on this chuck. Look in the light, there's just nothing, it's just, it's in perfectly reasonable condition. Even looking down the bore, it's just not, it's nice and clean. Before I thought I should claim that, I ordered online that, because I thought it's silly to have batteries and not be able to use them. So I bought that, and I think that was about $159. Right, I've got a tool problem. I bought that. I then agreed to pay $100 to fix the other one. And I thought, okay, I'll have two. Great. Meanwhile, I went to Bunnings, and there was a kit for sale. And the kit contained that, and that, right, and a charger, and a battery, and it was like $150. I thought, well, I get that, I get a spare one. This is only a regular drill driver, and another battery, and this is a 3 amp hour. Is it? No, a 2 amp hour battery. I've got to do that to make sure it works. For $150. Yay. Okay. Absolutely fully set. Don't need anything else. Then DeWalt got in touch after the warranty spat. And they'd said, we'll send you one of those. Because I'd said I couldn't get a hammer drill for under $180. There was no hammer drill in the 12 volt range that was available if I got the $99 back that I paid for that. So they sent me a hammer drill worth about $180. So now I have 2 hammer drills. Yeah, but this one's significantly shorter. It's slightly taller. Not much in it. And it's a little bit wider, but again, not much. It's funny. This one gets thicker at the back, and this one's thicker at the front. It's a bit strange. Anyway, so but this one I notice has a metal chuck, plastic. It's almost as if they knew that a hammer drill needs to have a metal chuck. And I have heard that these don't break as often. And I have also heard, whether this is true or not, that often the replacement for one of these is actually often one of these. If they think you're really unfortunate. So I now have 5 DeWalt 12 volt things, so I don't need any others. All right, I'm absolutely set. So that's why I think I'll put 2 in here. I will 2 hammer drills. I'm thinking I might take one to someone's house, or trouble is the batteries. The batteries are the best part. Oh look, here we go. Here are the kind people that fixed it for me. The kind people that fixed it. Now I should say that not a sponsor, but they were very kind. They absolutely thought that I was really unfortunate, and when I sent them the copy of all the stuff, the conversation email wise between myself and Yellow Brand, and they thought, well, you've kind of been led astray that they've said they would fix it, and now they're saying they won't. And so I think they really tried their hardest for me. So I've got no problem saying, A&G Repairs, go see them. I will again. So yeah, that's why I've got so many of these. I've got to say, I'm not a fan of these little belt hooks. Don't like them at all. And that's why on all the others, they're gone. I don't like them. Get rid of them. I've got a bin full of them somewhere. There we go. This is the next repair. So part of my job now is I get to teach tech studies. We have a lot of this branded tool within the workshop, and unfortunately at some point a student has broken this, or I don't say broken as if they've like picked it up and gone, and snapped the thing in half. But it has been used and become broken through some misfortune, and I found this just jammed into a shelf somewhere, and I actually thought my offsider knew that it was broken and thought, I'll just get out of the way and I'll sort that later. So I said to him, oh, I saw that blower's broken. And he, what? With eyebrows. What? Didn't just go, what? And so yeah, I said, oh, can we glue that back together? So my thinking is what I'll do is I've just super glued it at the moment. And it's not very good repair. It needs some reinforcing. So I thought I could either mix up some epoxy or mix up some chopped strands of fiberglass and resin and just fill in that piece, because this is basically the center of the clamshell. It's in kind of 3 parts. There's a part on that side and a part that's on this side, and they both kind of screw into this central piece, which is this side, and this side of the handle is the center. It's kind of like a turbocharger, a little snail device with two halves of the housing. So I was just about to do that. So this is why it's glued together. I wouldn't trust it at all. It is glued together, and it does. I wouldn't wave it around. And then my offsider said, "Oh, hang on, I've got another one." So now I'm at this stage. He's now handed me another one, which isn't broken physically, but doesn't work. So I'm in two minds of, do I proceed with fixing this, or do I try and transplant this into the other housing? And I won't put the two together because I don't know if I would. Well, I would, because I'd be able to look at the broken bits, I suppose. But I haven't done anything with it yet. So I don't know what I should do, because obviously putting resin and stuff on here is all well and good, so long as it doesn't seep into the other side, and it is at a joining seam. So I'm going to have to be super careful. Probably have to do this part first, let that go off, and then sort of do the back part of it. So it's probably going to take 4 goes. Front, back, next part, front, back. Or take it all apart and see if I can fix it. Well, see if I can transplant it. It's probably not too bad. I'd say, well, the problem is that I know the motor's in this bottom half. And obviously the broken bit's in the middle. The fan's in the middle. I don't know. I'm in two minds. Of course, the other thing is that I could get it apart and then not be able to put one back together, which would be even worse. I suppose the worst case is that I'll be going and spending $100 of my own money and just buying a replacement and claiming that I could fix it. Just dust it up a bit. Of course, this is the other new toy. This is an 18-volt kit. So yeah, this was nice. The Black and Yellow Friday special. Love this. So for anyone wondering, here is what the students make. They make one of these lovely pine serving trays. Expertly done. This one is made of all the pieces that no one else wanted. It's got the holes in it. It's got the big gnarly rustic charm on the side. It's got the rails that have been dented because people have dropped them on the floor and then complained they've got dented rails and can I get new ones? So this is my one, made of all the bits that everyone else thought was too crap. Well, there are cracks in it and knot holes and stuff. It's full of rustic charm. So I brought this home. I was going to leave it there to spray it, but it's got a few machining marks on it still. I'm going to spray lacquer this myself when it's nice, which maybe September, October. And the other thing we've been working on, or we have been working on, I've been working on, are these. These are coffee and drinks trays made of wood. So this is oak, and this one is just pine, 19mm pine, all from the scrap bin at work. So here's an oak one that hasn't been routed around yet. So all these have just had holes drilled. This one's been routed and sanded somewhat. Needs a coat of spray lacquer on it. These are still to go. So I took these out today to the local caffeine procurement establishment, and the owner was really impressed and said, "Can I try these with my cups?" And I didn't want to say, secretly, I've been coming here for a couple of weeks trying these with your cups, and I can tell you they all fit. And I said, "Sure, why not? Yeah, go for it, take it." Nonchalant, cool. And she came back and said, "All my cups fit, even the milkshake cups and the small cups and the Nourish Bowl cups and muesli. All the sizes fit." And I acted really surprised. I went, "Oh, do they? Oh, that's good." And so she said, "Do you make them?" And, "Yes, I do." And how much will you charge for them? And I'd said, "Well, not much. The idea is to try and make it sustainable. I suppose if somebody paid, I don't know, would someone pay $10 for that? I don't know. I guess how many copies would they get out of it before they've saved $10 of cardboard? Cardboard's cheap, but waste on the environment isn't. So that's the way I see it. We've got quite a big green economy. We used to have a shop here called the Green Economy. We do have quite a big push for the green economy in Whyalla, bumfudge nowhere. So maybe somebody would pay $10 for that because it's oak, and maybe they paid $10 for that because it's pine, and they've probably got some friends. So this is a very basic one. This has only been cut and routed. It hasn't been sanded at all yet. But it's there's also a version of this that will have 2 cup holders and a sort of pocket routed out, but the router bit hasn't arrived yet, to carry a slice of cake or a toasted sandwich or something. And I think that could be a nice little, a nice way to make use of something that, this ends up being kindling. All the scraps of pine get cut up and given away to people for, lighting their combustion heaters or, warming up their pizza ovens. So I think it's a nice way to make use of a waste resource. And hey, if it's a fundraiser on the side, to fund my tool fetish, then that's okay too. So there's those. What else? I realised I'm printing these battery holders standing upright, and I should have just laid them flat, but I didn't want to print them with support. But standing them up, it's taking so much longer to print. So this is where the woodwork and 3D printing come into their own. So this is a template for the router that will sit over the end, and then the router bit can just follow along the inside of this and cut out the groove. And because it's got these notches on there, it centers itself on the piece of wood, provided I've cut it the right thickness. I have it for this. This has got to get cut down by about 10 millimeters. So then it'll sit on, it'll route out the groove, and then I can just drill the 2 holes, route over sand. So I've got quite a few of these all cut and ready to go. But again, these were going in the bin. These were going to be scrap wood for someone's fire. Somebody said you can take what someone is going to burn as waste and make $40 or $50 out of it. Would you do it? But then again, I know there's time involved in cutting things and whatnot, but it's a hobby as well. So you get to, for me, I get to spend some time in the shed, and I can even feel like I've got a little bit of something back for that time if I get some money that I can put towards tools or filament. And then I can either put that into making things for the people that I work for, which isn't necessarily the school, but it's actually the students. They hate to know that. But if I can do that, and it can buy me another couple of rolls of filament, and I can, because I often spend a lot of time printing prizes and trinkets and things, for quizzes and whatever you do throughout the week, anything to get people involved and doing stuff. So it's been really good doing the 3D printing, because lots of kids have come up to say, I wish we were in your class doing all the 3D printing stuff, but then again, sometimes the kids in my class go, oh, geez, I wish I was next door painting a fruit bowl or something. And not everyone's the same. I understand that. I was terrible at tech studies as a kid. I failed tech studies in year 8. I didn't fail. I got a D. But, I like to remind people of that when they see my Dalek. D for Dalek. Yeah. I don't know if this lights make any difference. Maybe I should test with and without it. Not that it's hot or anything. It's just annoying. I think that made no difference. I just think the camera on this is better than the Logi crap. Yeah. I had to do an oil change last week, and I needed some of this to get the old oil filter off. And then I think I've got a friend coming next Saturday. That's the other reason I'm hoping that all the reports are done, because I want to help him do an oil change. And I thought I'd hurt my back. I thought I had, but it was just the oil filter was really on there tight, and I thought, who the bloomin' hell's put this oil filter on? And then I realized it was me. And I sort of wrenched my back, and I even to the point, when you're straining, you're lying down doing something, and you're strained to the point that your legs are lifting off the ground as well. So it was really on there tight, and I couldn't get the car high enough in the air to get two hands on it. It was only one hand. So yeah, it happened. It's done. It's done. I haven't measured the kink calculator. It is. Let's see. It is. Hold on. Hang on. The scale goes this way up. It is. It's about. It is 19 banana units tall by about 9.5 bananas wide. It's almost a perfect rectangle, and it's approximately it's about 1.5 banana units thick. So there you go. So its volume, I could use this as an educational video. Its volume in banana units is, hang on. This calculator is weird though. The off button, you've got to press shift and the all clear to turn it off. Anyway, so what I say, it was about 19 by, what did I say? 9.5. 0.5 times 1.5. Volumetrically, this calculator is 270.75 banana units, cubic banana units. And I think that's how we should measure everything in cubic banana units. There you go. So there's the numbers are on there, and then the scale is along there like that. So it is 270.75 cubic banana units. I would take that into school, and I would probably get told off for teaching people irrelevant junk. So I won't. But that's my new calculator, the kink calculator that nobody will steal. C for Colin. It is C for Colin. It's C for biscuit as well. C is for catfish. There you go. That's what it's for. So it's not really any tidying up. And I've gone the stupid route. I put mats down on the floor so I didn't get sore feet. And now I'm sitting anyway because the camera's not at the right height because it's all gone wrong and the little webcam doesn't work. I'm always going to measure in banana units. Yes, you should. You should. When I get 5 minutes, I will make you. This is an actual 3D printed calibrated banana by which all things should be measured. See, we've got some stringy banana hair because I think it's PETG. There you go. I will. Yes, demon child, I will make you a 3D printed calibrated banana. Because bananas are the official unit of measurement for all 3D printed objects. For instance, this lithophane of Jessie J. Let me just Blair Witch. This lithophane of Jessie J. No, no. I don't care about the money. You don't care about the money. This picture of Jessie J is exactly. Oh, it's actually a bit more. It's 14. It's about 15 banana units by, again, about 15 banana units. Because the thing is, the units on here stop at 10. Well, the numbers stop at 10, but the units keep going. Yeah. Stops at 10, but the units, they just keep going, baby. So it's actually got, this is actually a 14 banana unit calibrated banana, but they ran out of space to put the numbers. It's probably the kind of banana measure I'd make, like, it's what was that show they did about the Olympics, and the 100 meters track was about 100 meters. There was the games. There was was it Working Dog? Australian drama lectures as well. Working Dog Productions, which Russell Coight and I think Clark and Dorr as well. Anyway, they did. Clark and Dorr were in it. There you go. Who are Clark and Dorr? Look that up. They're bloody funny. But Clark and Dorr, the games. There was an Australian show, and they were getting ready for the Sydney Olympics. So it's made 1998, 99. Lost all relevance after that, and I should write a bill for Parliament to debate changing the metric system to banana units. Well, the funny thing is, bananas are metric. There are metric bananas and there are freedom bananas, and we live in a metric banana country. And I've just noticed I got like a giant lump there. It looks like I got a giant lump, but there's nothing there. It's just that I've got bad lighting and a 40-year-old face. So I'll just stretch it out of the way, and I'll keep talking. Anyway, what was I saying? The games. I'll just talk like that from now on. I could light my face. Hold on. Maybe that's why I need a light. Look, I'll just. This will be brilliant. I'll just. It probably won't. Does that change? No. How do I? Bring it over here. There we go. I'll just light my face like that. There you go. That's perfect. There we go. Wonderful. Anyway, in the games, they were making the typical Australian thing. They were making the 100-meter racetrack for the Olympics, but they cheaped out and they made it about 100 meters. I think it was 97.3 meters or something. But they thought that would be good because then they'll get all the world records will fall at the Olympics, and they just, so long as no one actually went and measured it, and then they found out that part of getting the Olympics was that somebody would come out and measure to make sure the 100-meter track was 100 meters. But I think what the problem was, they ran out of space to put the rest of it. So there you go. Oh, the print's finished. The print's not that it's. I'm not making a joke about the Royals. I've had enough of that. The Ender 3, I'll turn it around. It's been making cubes, baby. Hollow cubes. Ooh, that magnetic base is up. Hollow cubes. Hollow. Scottish. Hollow. That's silly. Oh, there you go. So they're going to, the students are aiming, geez, they're meant to be calculating the volume. Well, actually, they can be calculating the perimeter, the area, and the volume of these cubes. And just because that would be better than doing a worksheet about volume. It's measure something. Teachers out there, if you're doing measurement, don't do worksheets. Measure things. Part of what we do in I hate talking about teaching. I really genuinely do. It's so boring. Not the teaching, the talking about it. Just bloody measure things. And when you're making stuff, measure things. And if you stuff it up, measure it so you know where the problem was. You know, we've done hooks, headphone hooks that go on the edge of the table, and then when they work, people go, yay! And when they don't work, people just want to throw it in the bin and go, oh, it's stuffed up. And you think, measure it, figure out what went wrong, and we'll fix it. But no, don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. It's because you hate me, and the computer hates me, and the printer hates me, and who'd be a teenager? I wouldn't be a teenager again because I'm too old. That's yeah. But no, if you stuff things up, at least measure it. Figure out how badly you're stuffed up. Sometimes with 3D printing, I mean, 0.5 millimeter, you know, it's like nothing. But it's plenty to stuff up, you know. So if you have a 3D print and it works, it means that your measuring must be pretty blooming good. Anywho, a couple of novelty blasts. Ooh, and in reverse. Oh yeah, no, that was forward. I'll try again. And reverse. A little bit. Creeping. And full ball. Yeah. Oh, that wasn't even on max. Maximum power. You see. Gee, there's a bit of deflection in that, isn't there? There is a bit of wobble in the chuck. It's a bit in the collet. It's not really a chuck, is it? It's a collet. So we did retro night tonight. We rented a video. Don't do that. No one does that anymore. I mean, we rented a video by actually leaving the house and going to a shop that has lots of videos. And the whole time of me saying to my son, yeah, they'll definitely have that movie that we want to get. Definitely. They've got thousands there. They'll definitely have it. And then they didn't have it. Fortunately, picked Herbie. So he watched Herbie, and I Googled how many Herbie cars there were. So they've used about 30. For anyone that doesn't know, in the Herbie movies, they used about 30 different Volkswagen Beetle props. And only two were personality props where the headlights pivoted and flashed and whatnot. And in all the driving ones, Disney was very ahead of its time. They kind of rigged up the car with an extra steering column. So the steering column in Herbie was a fake one, and the actual steering column was in the seat behind the driver, elongated, changed the steering angles, and that must have played hell with its handling. But it was low enough that the driver could still see over the front seats, which I suppose because it didn't have a back on them, because it was a 1963 bug. Anyway, the person in the back who was doing the driving could still see, and then in later years, when the technology got there, they had a little video monitor. And so he dropped driving by video. Gee, I don't know. Maybe it'd be all right because at least you get feedback through the steering column. But I can imagine having an extra long steering column, the feedback would be pretty awful. And I don't know if I'd be able to control it. But then again, I am not a professional stunt driver, and obviously the person driving Herbie was, or he was pretty hot in the car. Anyway, I don't know what to talk about. We wanted to get Short Circuit, so I told my son about the movie that had robots in it, and one of the robots the robots have a laser on them, and then one of them tells the other robots that their mother was a snowblower, and he can read books just by flicking through the pages in like 5 seconds, and he gets struck by lightning and comes to life, and he thought that was really cool, and then he wanted to see it, and then they didn't have it. But we do have one of the last video rental shops, probably in South Australia. I couldn't imagine there'd be many. I remember being a kid, and there were 5, 6, maybe 7 in town. And trying to get my dad to take me to the one that had, because I'm a nerd, obviously, and as a nerdy kid, I would make up excuses to go into video shops, even if we weren't members there, because obviously you had to be a member for anyone that doesn't know this, you had to sign up for each one. And so I would, we wouldn't be a member of this one. There was one in a place called George Avenue that then became an aquarium shop, then became an internet shop, and now is an empty shop. Anyway, there was one there. And as a kid, I used to make up excuses to go in, particularly to look through and see if they had any Doctor Who or Transformers. And so I knew which Transformers episodes you could watch, because there was no Amazon. And it wasn't on TV every day. So if you wanted to rewatch something, you had to go and find a place that had the video cassette and rent it. So I knew that the ones that were near my grandpa's house, they had a few. They had 3 or 4 different ones, which was probably the biggest load. The one that we were actually members of didn't have any, which was really blooming helpful. And the one that there was one, I'm trying to think now, because there are even little ones, even like petrol stations back then rented videos. It's strange. But there was one in George Avenue that had a few as well. So you invent an excuse and then beg your parents to take you there. And they'd say, why can't we go to the other one? And you'd say, but they don't have it there. They've got thousands of videos there. They must have it. No. And that was me tonight. They've got thousands of videos there. They must have this thing. No, they didn't. Thank God for Herbie. Anyway, well, now this print has stopped. I better find the next thing to print, which is going to be more of these. So hold on, I'll just print from TF. Open top box. The other thing I've printed, this was a request from a student, is could you please print me this mountain bike? It's a mountain bike on a card, and you assemble it. And so long as I hope you don't break it. And I said, yeah, send me a link to the file. I'll print that. It took like 40 minutes to print the blooming thing. It probably took longer to print the raft than it did to print this, but there's so many small pieces, I thought I better print the actual raft as well. But I don't know, you might need to glue it together. As long as it doesn't glue his hands to his face or something, it'll probably be okay. But if he does, I didn't glue it together. He's got to read the instructions himself. Yeah, well, that light is really annoying. I'm gonna watch. Does it make a difference? Oh no, it does. It does. Does it? It goes up. Oh. What's that one do? What's that button meant to do? Oh, it does. It dims. It dims. Oh. So that changes the color. Oh, warm. Warm white light. You're probably not meant to see that. I'm meant to be like an influencer where you don't see that I'm trying to light myself in a favorable manner. There you go. That just looks like I'm suntanned. Anyway, that's enough bollocks. I've nearly talked for an hour of bollocks, so I'm going to stop the stream in, 1 minute and 40 seconds. So, if anyone has any last words to say, anyone that is actually watching, it was all 3 of us. And thank you for the thumbs up, the viewers. 2 of the viewers, 2 of them. One of them has it thumbs up, whoever you are. It's just there. There. Just do that. What should I do? I'm gonna try and buy one of those. I don't know. I need a gimmick, don't I? I need a gimmick, because I don't exactly have anything interesting to talk about. I'm just talking crap. Maybe I should get a roll of toilet paper or something and put it up in the background. I'm going to try and do something about it here in the ensuing break, because there's all sorts of stuff that you can't even see it. There's a piece of insulation that's just sort of flapping around. So I might try and, I don't know, fix that. I might put some plywood or something there just to make it look a bit nicer. That'll probably be okay. I'm glad you did. Thank you, Demon Child. Well, now I know the 2 people that have thumbs up, and that also means I know the one that hasn't. That sounds really childish. I'm only guessing I know the one that hasn't, but I can't be too judgmental, can I? Yeah, have I got anything? There's nothing really to. No, that's just no. Anyway, I'm going to go back in 4 seconds. Look, that's thank you for watching, and let's have an awkward moment. Awkward moment.